Hello, QS19, Naim here with, where are we? We're on Thursday. This is our lesson, and this is in case anyone's late to the class, or they want to review what was discussed in the class, or they can't make it for some reason. Okay, so in today's lesson, I'm going to be talking about tracking your progress in this wonderful project that we're on. And I tell you what, I really do genuinely feel it's wonderful because I'm doing it as well. I hope you've seen the video of me practicing my guitar techniques for my own little solo diary that I'm creating. I'm going to be recording a part 2 to that over the next couple of days where you can track my progress as a guitarist, singer, even songwriter. So I hope you get to see that. I've been putting up all the videos that I've made so far on YouTube as well, so really there's no excuse why you shouldn't be watching these. Please watch them. They're going to help you get through this project in these crazy times. Okay, so what am I on about when I say track my progress? Well, I've created a wonderful Google Sheet that's interactive where you can let me know when you've completed any and all of the tasks on Google Sheets. So what happens when I click the Google Sheets, you can see just there where it is. In fact, let me get my handy pointer tool out there. You see, that's, oh, I've just crossed it out. Okay, that's not so cool, is it? I can erase it. Okay, so yeah, you click this here. I've also put a link into the Microsoft Team page, and I'll be putting more up as well. So there you go. What happens when I click it then? Well, let me go here. Okay, it opens up this fantastic Google page here on Google Sheets. So this should save it live as we go. So on the left over here, I've got a list of every student in QS19. And look at that. There's 104 of you currently on roll. If you're wondering what these numbers are here, okay, that just designates what class you're in. So QS19, so Adam Price is in QS19 1. If you can't find your name, you can edit it over here. You can do it by A to Z like that, or you can do it by surname, or you can do it by group as well. So I can tick off, if I just want to look at, say, QS19 1, I unclick those, press OK, and there you go. I'm only seeing QS19 1. But I want to see all of you, so I'm going to get it back to there, and there you go. So how does this thing work? Well, basically, all your names are there, and then here are the projects that you have in your OneNote that need doing before we can submit them. Okay, so there is quite a few. We've got our skills audit, so I went through that on our previous lesson. Now let's say I'm Adam Price, and by some miracle I watched this video, and also a further miracle happens. He actually does his work and he does his skills audit. Well, then he should go into here, or he could let me know that he's done it, that's one way, or he could simply go into this Google Sheets, press Y for yes, boom, done. Okay, and let's just imagine that in a month's time Adam manages to get a full house like that. Okay, now when that happens, I get an alert. Oh, can't forget the final performance, of course, that's the most important part. I get an alert which lets me know that Adam has completed the project, and then I can mark it. Okay, this makes life easy for me. It helps you track your progress, and in time, as we approach the deadline, what will happen if there is any parts to this that haven't yet been done, they will go red like that, highlighting to you and me what the most urgent things are to do. Okay, so a little bit of interactive fun for you there to be cracking on with. Do you know what? I'm not sure even how to take it off the red now. You know what? I'm going to leave it red just so he gets the message, but I don't think Amber deserves to be red because I know she's been working hard. So I'm just going to put it back in black. There we go. All right, so that's that for you guys. I'll be talking more about that, and we'll be watching the progress of here. So you might be wondering why some are in green and why all of you guys have not yet been ticked off, because you've probably done some of the work. That's simply because obviously this is a quite big task for me to go through all of that, and I'm making my way through it. So bear with me, but this will really help if you yourselves can go onto this Google Sheet and update your progress. So thank you very much with that. Let's get back to our lesson of today. So I've shown you the Google Sheet, ticking off your tasks. I've also told you about how to get it to go green. Remember, all you do is just press a Y or a no, N for no, to let me know. If you press no, it will go into red. If you press yes, it will go into green. Okay, and the project deadline itself is the end of April. To be precise, I believe it is the 26th of April. That is a Sunday. Okay, so each lesson will be looking at a different aspect of your solo development, and of course I'll be updating my own solo development diary on guitar and bit of backing vocals. Obviously it's always a bit tricky as a tutor, because all of you guys are such wonderfully talented musicians. You play all sorts of instruments. I play all sorts of instruments, but some of them I don't play as good as you guys. So obviously I'm talking through the medium of guitar, and you know, Harley, she can teach through the medium of her voice. She's a fantastic vocalist, and Nathan can teach his lessons through keyboard. So I believe on the whole you are getting a quite comprehensive set of skills that we're teaching you overall. But it just so happens I play guitar and a little bit of keyboard, and I've got guitars here, so I do apologize if you're a keyboardist only. You're watching me playing guitar, but I'm trying to do the best I can here and make it translatable to any instrument. Okay, so where are we now? I mean, that's the main focus of this lesson, and in the lesson itself I'll be answering any questions that you have. I've noticed some of you have managed to do your SMART targets, short-term reviews, and they should look something like that. And you've got your short term, you've got your medium term, and your long term. Just to reiterate, the short term is probably, we're talking as a timeline, I'm talking the next week or two. Okay, that's short term. Medium term, I'm looking at the next month. Okay, and long term, I'm looking at maybe up to a year or a whole term, at least a whole term. So that's pretty much 3 months, what you can achieve. Okay, so that is good to know, and I've added a new element to this project, and what that is going to be a review of your SMART targets. A review of your SMART targets. So when we get towards the end of this project, I want you to go back, look at your targets and see, well, whether you did them or not, whether you completed them, or how far did you go to achieving them. And if you weren't able to achieve some of them, that's all right. You know, this is life, and it's about trying, sometimes failing, but always making progress. So don't be too scared and too worried if you've set yourself really hard targets and really high achieving ones. That's good. It is important to be realistic, though. As it says, the R in SMART is for realistic. Okay, it's all right to have dreams, but it's very important to know exactly where we are on our life journey. So you know what I mean. I would love to be in a band that sold 1 million records every time I released a tune. All right, at the minute that's not happening, but I am selling, you know, hundreds or sometimes even thousands, and that's pretty good. But obviously in my head, I want it to be tens and hundreds of thousands of streams and whatnot. So I know where I am now, and I'm at the hundreds and thousands stage. I want to get to the hundreds of thousands stage. That's a long-term goal, of course, and the steps I do to achieve that are mapped out. I have a little plan on how I intend to do that. Okay, it's important that you have these very specific plans. Okay, so specific, what will you do? Okay, I will sell 100,000 records. Sorry, we can't even say records anymore. Shouldn't say that. Streams. I will have 100,000 streams on my next track. It's called Let It Burn. Check it out on Spotify. Maybe help me get it a bit higher. But let's talk about actually music performance. Well, in the studio today, I went to my studio and I've got a canvas board, a whiteboard, sorry, and I rubbed it out today because it was full of stuff from last year, and I've set myself a list of 10 new tracks that I want to get crack-a-lacking on, get recording on this year, and you're going to put the song titles in as we do them. I'm going to put the instrumentation on, and hopefully a tick or a cross if they're going to make it, if they're good enough to make it into my next album. So that's my target. Short term would be to actually start making the tunes themselves. Medium term would be to actually sort out the instrumentation and start gathering up instrumentalist guest musicians. I need to guest on the record, and long term it would be to actually get it released, of course. So there you go. They're my short, medium, and long term targets in music. Music performance wise, and talking about live. I mean, you could have this smart target thing for many different aspects. I mean, you need to be specifically talking about your rehearsal routine, aiming towards the end of the journey for this project, which is your 10 to 12 minute solo performance. All right. Just to reiterate, many of you are already fantastic musicians. Are you just going to do your party pieces? Are you just going to sing and play songs that I already know and you already know you can play really well already? Well, guess what? That ain't good enough, because I'll know. And you're not going to progress really just by playing, regurgitating stuff you've already done. Okay? I need you to start with new pieces, or to pick pieces that you half know, that you can show a development on. All right? That's the aim of this whole beautiful project, which is going to make you better, more confident, more realistic, and more skillful musicians. Okay, so that's about it for me. So to just go over what I've talked about today is your smart targets, and eventually you'll do a review of your smart targets. And then we talked about the Google Sheet, ticking off your progress as you complete each task. It will go green. Okay, and finally your project deadline, which is the end of April. Happy days, guys. I'll see you in the lesson. God bless. Take care. One love. Bye bye.